This is part two of my series, The Prepper Purge. Now, if you haven't seen part one, I'm going to link to it above and you can click on that after this video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how social media affects the preparedness community. So let me start out by telling you just a little story. About 2 months ago, a couple of months ago, I had this situation on Instagram, right? And so Instagram is owned by Facebook. Facebook bought them out, years ago. And I was promoting the Hydro Blue VersaFlow water filter. It's a water filter that I truly believe in. It's a personal water filter, and you can turn it into a big family-sized water filter. So I made a video, I made a PDF tutorial, all that kind of stuff, and I was promoting it everywhere, even on YouTube and on Facebook, everywhere. And on Instagram, I was linking in my profile or the website that you can put in your profile. I was linking directly to a page that I created for the VersaFlow. And so after, so many days, weeks, whatever, I decided to go ahead and change it back to just prepperwebsite.com because, I want people to be able to go there as well. And when I tried to do that, Instagram kept telling me that prepperwebsite.com that link was against their community standards. And I'm like, what? I mean, that's kind of weird because I'd always had Prepper website linked there. So then I tried a couple of things. I did a little bit of research, not too much, but then he's like, okay, so that's the way it happened. So I settled on leaving in the profile website section, I put the podcast, right? So the Prepper website podcast.com. I can link to the Prepper website podcast.com, but I can't link to Prepper website. Doesn't make any sense, but there you go. So, that's where it was. Then a couple of days later after that, I realized on Facebook that I couldn't link to Prepper website either. And so I'm like, what in the world is going on? Someone in the Facebook group had asked a question and I was linking to one of the tags in the tag cloud where they could go do some research and find some articles if they wanted to. And so I noticed that when I would plug it in, it would look like it was there, but it was like still in draft, right? And like it wouldn't post. And I'm like, what is going on? And I tried some other different websites and I was able to post those. And I told people in the group, I'm like, hey, I took a screenshot. This is what's going on. And other people tried to share Prepper website and they wound up, it said to them that it's against their community standards. I'm like, what in the world? I never got a warning from Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. It's all of a sudden I wasn't able to link to Prepper website anymore. So I did a little bit of research, all basically you can do. You can't ever talk to anyone. It doesn't seem like. You can do some research. You can, look at forums and different things like that. Facebook always points you back to the same page, right? It's like, okay, you have questions. They point you back to the same page where they never really truly answer any question. And so I finally, there's this one place where you can say, hey, review this, review this. And so I reviewed that action a couple of times. And then I noticed probably about a week later, all of a sudden I could start posting to Prepper website again. No mention of anything, no nothing. It just all of a sudden this happened, right? All right, so that went on and that really left a bad taste in my mouth about all of that. And it's just like, I knew that it was coming because we hear about conservatives being throttled back like on Twitter and on Facebook and some pages that are completely gone. And, it's kind of like people built their whole websites, their whole social media presence and their whole website and everything, right? Even the way that they get paid and stuff like that. It's their job. They built it around social media, and then when that's gone, it's gone. And so you've heard stories about that. So there's been conservatives that have done that's happened to, Christians that has happened to, and I just feel it's a matter of time before they start doing it to preppers. I think that's going to be more so, and because most preppers are a little bit more right-leaning, conservative-leaning, and some of the political views that you put out there, they're going to be targeted, and we're going to see that more and more as we get closer to the next big election, right? So just that's a warning. That's just what I feel. That's my opinion, right? So then after a couple of weeks, so just recently, about a week and a half ago, I got another ding on Facebook. And so there's no way that I sit there and I link to everything that I do. A lot of this is automated. And so I created a page, the page on Prepper website, that the second most looked at page on the whole website is called Alternative News, or Alt News Hub, right? And so on this page, I have tons of alternative news sources, and so it updates as their feeds update. You can go see them, and you can get a lot of alternative news all in one page, right? And so I thought, a lot of people are still on Facebook, and so I'm into sharing information, and so I created a page just for Alt News, right? Alt News Hub, and was sending feeds that way automatically because I've got the software that can go ahead and do that. And this was before Facebook. This was right around the time where Facebook started to move more to groups, and they were pushing people more to groups. And so I did all this work on the page, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, they're really pushing people more to groups, and they're throttling back pages, right? And so anyway, I did all this work. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to leave it there. And so it goes, and there's some people that are on that page, and every once in a while, I'm seeing people that are engaging with that page. But for the most part, it's just feeding, and I'm not really paying that much attention to it. So I got dinged on Facebook, and so I go and I look at what it is, and I don't normally spend a lot of time on Facebook, but I went to go finally, after a couple of days, go see, what is this all about? And so I was reading that, one of my posts was did not follow the nudity guidelines, and I'm like, what in the world? I mean, I know at first I thought maybe somebody had hacked me and they were posting things they shouldn't, and so I go to look at the article that it was, and it was from an alt news source, right? And it was one of these that was going to the Alt News Hub, and when I went to go look at it, it was not anything about nudity or anything. It was talking about the plight of women and different things like that, but not in a negative way. But one of the pictures there had women who were basically nude, right? But their tops were covered, and they had like nude tape and different things like that on them, so it looked like they were nude, but they really weren't. And then their bottoms, they had like nude underwear or whatever, so it looked like they were completely nude, but they really weren't. And so this was the picture that was on the website that somehow Facebook, saw it and realized that, hey, thought that this is some nudity, and so we're going to ding this person. So in looking at that, I went ahead, okay, well, I can see how they thought that this was maybe some nudity. And so I said, I agree with this, this block that you did on this article. And so just kind of left it at that. Well, then a little bit later on, I realized when I was on Facebook, and I don't engage too much on Facebook. I use Facebook for only three major purposes. Anyway, I'll get to that in just a second. So I was trying to like someone's post or whatever, and it wouldn't let me. It said, you can't like or respond or anything to any post for this certain amount of hours. And I'm like, what? I mean, come on, what for that other thing? And I'm like, oh, come on. So then I tried to, I didn't give it any more thought, and that was like a day, and the next day I post my devotional thoughts. So I use Facebook for three reasons. I do a Thursday night devotional for my church, and so people can come online and watch it live, or they can watch the recorded version. And so that's one reason I'm recording this on a Thursday night. I've actually started this series driving to work, and I wasn't able to do that this morning, and so I did it on the way home, and I just realized that I cannot do videos in my car or in my truck on the way home from work. It's just the sun is so bad, and it just didn't work out. So I'm redoing this. I'm doing this here in my home, but I already have everything set up because I do this on Thursday night for the church. The other thing that I do is I do my devotion. So every morning when I wake up, I read my Bible, I do my prayer time, I do my, my quiet time, my devotions. And so I upload my devotions. I write a devotional every day on a website, right? So I have my own personal website where I do my devotions, but then I also just kind of copy and paste it and put it on Facebook. And the purpose is because I want to be a blessing to other people, and I want other people to see it. And, there's people that are on Facebook that aren't anywhere else, that won't go over to the website that has a devotional. So I post it there. Well, that next day when I tried to post my devotional, it wouldn't let me. It still said, you still have so many hours, blah, 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 on your ban, whatever. And I don't know exactly what it said, but something along those lines. So I realized I couldn't even post my devotional, you know, I couldn't even post my own profile because of this ban. And I started thinking, I mean, this is crazy. The other reason I use Facebook is to communicate with the Facebook group, right? I go and hang out there, and lately I haven't been doing a whole lot of that, but I do that, right? And so those are primarily the three major things. So as I was thinking about this, I'm like, okay, I'm jeopardizing my ability to, I guess, share the gospel, share my devotionals, and also the ability to not do my Thursday night Facebooks for the church, because if that block would have been on a Thursday night, I wouldn't have been able to do my live. And so I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. So I started taking off all the feeds that were going to the Alt News Hub, because I'm like, there might be another thing that goes there that might show that it goes against some community standard for whatever reason, right? And then after I started thinking that way, I realized that Facebook is really warping the way that I was thinking, right? Facebook was really just having me conform to what they want and what they think is community, what they think is right, what they think is what should be out there. And so it really is kind of I wouldn't say complete brainwashing, but it is forming. I'm losing my word here that I want to be able to share with you, but it is kind of forming what they want and causing you to operate in a way that you might not do it. And so it's training you, right, on what they say is right. And here's the deal. So many people are on Facebook and so many people are on social media. They make it very, very easy. They serve up what you want. They give you, you click on a video with cats, they're going to give you more cats. You click on, preparedness articles, they're going to serve up more preparedness, right? But at the same time, they're throttling back those things that they don't believe in. So conservative views, patriotic views, things that go against anything that they think. So, hey, we think that you can have any political view that you want, and we'll serve up any political view that you want, just as long as it doesn't go against what we believe is right. We'll let you see any kind of religious thing that's out there, just as long as it doesn't go against what we think. And they get to control the narrative. They get to control what you see. There are algorithms that are out there that they are feeding you, and they are, they're sharing what they want you to see. And that's going to be a problem, because if we say we're going to go ahead and allow Facebook to tell us, like, hey, if we act bad, we're going to go into Facebook jail, right? If we don't post the right stuff, then we're not going to be allowed to use Facebook. You can get on there, you might be able to see some stuff, but you're not going to be able to interact and have that kind of communication back and forth with other people. Like, we're going to put you in jail. And there's been plenty of people. I mean, I know people that have been put in jail for a week, and some for a month, and some for even longer, because of something that they shared. And again, it's Facebook saying, hey, don't share that kind of stuff, or you're not going to be allowed to play in our app anymore. You're not going to be allowed to play on our website anymore. And so we are calling the shots here. And again, so many people are on social media. So many people are on Facebook and on Instagram and are all of the different social medias, that we become so used to this. I mean, it becomes one of those things. You go into a restaurant and people are sitting around a table and they're on their phones, right? People are, walking and they're on their phones. And, people today, I was in a meeting and we took a little bit of a break, and I noticed that I was looking around on their phones and they're on Facebook, scrolling through Facebook, seeing who liked their stuff or seeing who responded to something. And so they've kind of warped our minds into wanting to be on these social media platforms. And when they've done that, then they can start to dictate how they want us to behave. And so I think that is a really scary thing. And so you should probably maybe start thinking about how you need to start navigating, because I know for myself that I'm going to be toning back on that, right? And the first time that Facebook and Instagram, I had my issue, that really kind of just ticked me off a little bit. But this last time is like, after I started thinking about it, that's what they're doing. They're programming you. They're programming you to behave and to share only the things that they they deem appropriate. And then if not, then you can't play and you can't be on, and you can't have all the features and everything that you want, right? And so what is the answer? Facebook, Instagram, they've made it easy for us to be able to communicate and to be able to connect. I have met people from the preparedness community that I probably wouldn't have been able to if it was just, if I was just on a forum. But you still have forums that are out there. I believe that email is still going to be one very powerful thing, because social media is their platform. They can do whatever they want. They can change the algorithms. They can, you might want to see more preparedness content. They can serve up more cats to you, right? And so, they get to dictate what you see there. But when you are in charge, when you are subscribed to an email list, or when you are subscribed to, an RSS feed, or you go to websites, there's nobody else controlling but your actions there. Or you decide to go to a forum and take part of that forum and respond and stuff like that, then that's you making that decision. That's not another algorithm making the decision of what you're seeing and what they're serving up to you, and if you can play or anything like that. That's what's happening. So think about that, right? Again, they made it very easy. It's very easy. It's this little button on your phone. You go and you can see all this stuff. But at the same time, what is it doing to you? It's programming you to respond and to behave the way that they want you to. Now, some people will say, well, Todd, I don't care. I'm just going to continue to get banned. All right? And that's fine. But here's the thing. What if they get to a point where they don't ever allow you back on? Or, do you have other means of getting information? Are you on email lists that will provide, good information? So like right now, my email list, I send out on Saturday. I send out the Saturday prep, and then sometimes I send out on a Tuesday or maybe possibly on a Thursday. But now I have a list that I can communicate with people if I needed to on a more regular basis and share important information that's going down. Again, it's not controlled by anybody, right? There's the Prepper website forums that you can be a part of, and we have that. And I'm also working on something else that I'll share a little bit later on down the road. I'm still working on it, but it's another point where can be a resource for other people and people in the preparedness community. So I want you to be thinking about this, right? And where you stand and where you fall on this. I'm going to continue to use social media myself. I'm going to continue to use Facebook for my devotional. I'm going to continue to use it for my church. And I'm going to drop into the Facebook group and I'm going to do the things that I need to do there. But I'm going to purposely not spend as much time as I do, in social media, trying to build up my followers or trying to build up, how many people see my content and all that kind of stuff, because I know that it's still being controlled by them. I would rather be able to say, hey guys, I've got some great content. Let me share it with you. And so I'm still, like I said, I'm still going to use it, but I can foresee a time where they throttle people in the preparedness community back so much that it's not even worth it. Why are you even over there building up Facebook for them and for their money and for their advertisers? Why aren't you using it for yourself, right? Why aren't you being smart about how you operate within all of this, and maybe have other streams that you can be involved with? Like I said, email, forums, websites, that these types of things. That's why I truly believe in what I'm doing with Prepper website, where it's kind of a hub of all the great preparedness content that's out there, and then all the other websites that you can link to. So again, guys, I think that's one of the things that you need to think about. Are they programming you to be and think a certain way on social media? right? And if you haven't been dinged yet, eventually I think you will, you know, if you're sharing things out. And I think that's going to happen more and more as we get closer to the end, or as we get closer to the next election cycle. It's going to happen. It's going to ramp up more and more. So guys, don't forget the part 1 that I shared yesterday, and I'm going to share a link. It's completely a different idea here than this one right here. And then tomorrow I will share out part 3, right? And so hopefully I'll be able to record that on the way to work. And so I'll have that again. But anyway, tell me what you think, guys. Tell me if I'm completely off. Am I just bitter because Facebook and Instagram, you know, did that and kind of blocked me, right? You know, tell me what you think. You know, is it something that we need to completely, you know, be off of and not completely use at all? So I would appreciate your comments in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and also to subscribe if you're not. Thank you so much. God bless.